I really want you to take note of this. Imagine two persons being born into the same difficult situation or environment, born in the same home. Both of them experience real good poverty. When I say good poverty, I know what I'm trying to say. Good poverty. They lost a lot of opportunities. They were rejected. They faced injustice. A lot of things happened. But actually, after 20 years, one of them built a meaningful life. But the other one still explained why life never worked for him, or why life, was unfair to him. Now, what actually made the difference between these two persons? I want you to think about that within just a minute, or a second, or 5 seconds. Now, for me, it wasn't intelligence, actually. It wasn't luck. Don't put luck there. It wasn't privilege. It was just one decision. One of them was asking this very wonderful question: whose fault is this? Is it my parents caused it? My environment caused it? But the other one keep asking, what can I do? That one was looking for, what should I do to change? Now, this alone, these questions, they are what shift, or this question is what shifts everything and brought about changes. Now, today, we're going to talk about one of the most uncomfortable truths in personal growth. People don't want to hear it. The life you refuse to own is the life you cannot change. And we're talking about taking ownership. Stop blaming others, stop blaming things, and start blaming yourself. All right, now let's go in. People actually genuinely want a better life. They want that life that is good. They want to drive the Rolls Royce. They want to live large. They want to be on the private jet. They want to do this. They want to be successful. But listen, wanting change and becoming different they are two different. They are not the same. Some people spend years blaming their parents, blaming the governments, blaming their childhood, blaming education, blaming their boss, blaming their spouse, blaming the economy. There's nothing they don't blame, even blaming bad luck itself. And they blame even time itself. Why is that time is running? They blame everything. But you see, blame feels satisfying because it protects your ego. But ownership will feel uncomfortable because it's going to demand action. Yet one of them changes life. One of these two that I've said changes life. Okay, we're going to see some of the becoming revelation. I call them the becoming revelation. So I will start with the first revelation that is going to help you. The becoming revelation 1 is saying blame gives away your power. I repeat again, blame gives away your power. Every time you say they are the reason I cannot, the reason I can't, you unknowingly hand over your control over to them. You give them your future, that take, my future is this. So blame is not just an explanation, it's the transfer of power. You are trading your power. I say this with all sincerity of heart, you are trading your power. The moment someone else becomes responsible for your future, you have also made them responsible for your progress. And they will never change, neither will you change. So you keep giving out your authority, your power, your future, your life to them. So they are in control of you. Whatever they do, that is the direction you run to, because you have given them your power through blaming. I want you to ask yourself this question: who currently controls my happiness? Who controls my confidence? Who controls my finances? Who controls my growth? Who controls my future? If you truly answer these questions, it would, you will understand whether it depends on someone else or it depends on you. And if actually it depends on someone else, let me tell you the truth, you have surrendered your power. You have no power. The words of the mouth are very powerful. Oh, my government is one that caused it. So your government will be the one to rule you. They rule your emotions, rule everything. Now, this will take us to the second revelation, the becoming revelation 2. It says responsibility is not the same as fault. This is where people sorry. This is where many people really become confused, actually. You see, it's not everything that happens to you that is your fault. You didn't choose where you were born, actually. You didn't choose your parents. You didn't choose every painful experience. But why those things may not be your fault, Healing from them becomes your responsibility. I repeat, healing from them. You have to heal from those things. And you know where you were born, your parents, this situation, this painful. You have to heal. Growing beyond them becomes your responsibility. Learn to grow beyond those things. Building a better future becomes your responsibility. So your past only explains you. It does not have to define you. Your past just explained you, but it doesn't have to define you. All right? So you don't need to begin to dwell on your fault. Take responsibility. I thought a message I said, you can't control your circumstances around you, but you can control the response towards those circumstances. How do you respond? It's your responsibility. Don't rely on those faults. Make sure that you hold on to your responsibility. It's your responsibility to say, no, I want to grow. I want to heal from this. I want to move on. You are in a bad relationship before, and now you are no more there. You have to take that responsibility to say, I won't dwell on that bad relationship. I have to move on. I have to live a more better life. All right? You have to be intentional to say, I'll be a good husband. I'll be a good wife to this woman or to this man. All right? So that is one thing you must do. So now this takes us to the becoming revelation 3, which says victim asks different questions. Are you a victim? I want to ask you before I go on. Are you a victim? People with this victim mind, they always ask, why me? Why me? Who caused this? When will someone help me? Why is life unfair to me? That is a victim mindset. Someone who has a victim mindset. But anybody that has this ownership mindset will always ask this question: what can I learn? What can I improve? What can I control? What is my next step? Questions actually determines your direction in life. Questions actually determine your direction in life. So what are the questions you're asking yourself? Why me? Why is this happening? Why is this? Why is this? Why is that? Why is that? Instead of you asking, what can I do? What is the next step? Where am I feeling that I need to go on? What can I improve? What can I control? So the quality of your questions actually shapes the quality of your life. That's the truth. The quality of your questions shapes the quality of your life. I've learned something, not to sit around people who ask this question of why, when, why. I've refused to sit around those people. Well, I can coach you, but I would not want to be around you, because why? You are diminishing yourself. You have to ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Learn lessons from situations and grow. That is how you're supposed to be in life. Now, this takes us to the fourth, the becoming revelation. I call them the becoming revelation. The fourth, the becoming revelation says ownership creates freedom. At first, responsibility will feel very heavy, but as far as you keep going on, it will eventually produce freedom. Do you know why? I want to say that. Do you know why? Because you can only improve what you are willing to own. If you own a house, you will want to paint it, you want to do this because it's yours. So whatever you own, you want to improve it. All right? You cannot repair a house you just insist belongs to someone else. It's very funny. These days, there was a video I watched, and someone who rented a house and did all the things. The landlord said, well, allow me to finish. He said, don't worry, let me finish my house. And at the end of the day, he was evicted from there. He started destroying those expensive things that he put in the house. That is foolishness. I'm sorry to say that, but that is foolishness. All right? You can actually transform a life you decide to own, but you cannot transform a life you refuse to take responsibility for. So if you take responsibility of your life, you will transform it. All right? So ownership is not actually a burden. It is a permission to become. It's a permission to become. Now, I want to give you the ownership principle which I have for you today. I want to take note of this. Whenever something is going wrong in your life, ask these 5 questions before blaming anyone. Before you want to blame anyone, just ask yourself these 5 questions. What part of this situation, number 1, what part of this situation is within my control? All right? Number 2, what can I learn from this experience? Number 3, what decision can I make today? Number 4, what habits needs to change? What habits needs to change? Number 5, what action will move me forward immediately? Now, these questions actually, when you ask them genuinely, it will shift your mind from excuses to execution. You start executing, you start doing things, not blaming people. All right? So, that is one thing you must know. So I want to take you to the becoming challenge. We call this the becoming challenge, the becoming principle, the becoming revelation. So this is the becoming channel. So everything is the becoming, all right? So for the next 7 days, I want you to remove these statements from your vocabulary. If only, because of them, life is unfair, nothing ever works. Why me? Why this? I want you to replace them with this, okay? For the next 7 days. Here is what I can do. This is not my responsibility. I choose my next step. I will become better because of this. Now, I repeat them again. Here is what I can do. This is not my responsibility. I choose my next step. I will become better because of this. Let me tell you something. Language actually changes identity. And identity shapes your behavior. Your language, what you say from your mouth, shapes your identity. And your identity shapes your behavior. No, I'm not telling you to, when I talk about success, I'm not telling you do this. I'm telling you of how you work on your inner self. I've discovered, having 1 or 2 conversations with some billionaires, I've discovered that they read self-help books, how to transform themselves, transform their inner self, not to more business or more ideas. I've discovered that. So I'm teaching you all those things now so that you can know about them. All right, the world has always been unfair, and it will never be fair to any person. There will always be people who disappoint you. I've come to notice that, and I'm not against that. People will surely disappoint you. There will be circumstances that you did not choose, you cannot even control. But there is one thing that no one can take from you: your response. I said that before. Your response. How do you respond to those things? So the greatest turning point in your life may not be when your circumstances changes. It is just that day you stop waiting for someone else to rescue you. Yes. When you say no one should, I want to rescue myself. I want to take responsibility. I want to respond this way. Because life has been waiting for you. Life has been waiting for you to begin the moment you take ownership. You begin to take ownership of your life. You take ownership of your life, of your situations and everything. All right. Let me give you some quotable statements which you can use on your own, okay? These are from me. Blame explains the past. Ownership builds the future. That's number 1. The second one is, the life you refuse to own is the life you cannot change. From all what was said. The third one is that power returns the moment responsibility begins. All right. The fourth one is that you cannot become the author of your future while remaining the victim of your past. Are you getting me? So the the fifth one is that growth starts where excuses ends. And the sixth one is that your circumstances influences you, but your choice ultimately defines you. These are powerful statements, quotable statements that are going to help you. Now, we've taken ownership. We've talked about taking ownership. Now, this is just the beginning. But ownership alone is not just enough, Many people accept responsibility for their lives, yet they remain stuck because, they keep repeating some habits or the same habits. So if your habit doesn't change, your future won't either. All right. So in our next lesson, we are going to uncover one of the most powerful truths in human transformation. I'm going to uncover something very great that you're going to love. And that is, you are what you repeatedly do. I listened to Jack Ma and I learned something from him. So I'm going to talk about that in the next lesson. So this is where we are going to explore why small daily habits quietly shapes your identity, your character, and ultimately your destiny. But until then, just remember this: don't just wish for a different life. Become the kind of person who can build one. I love you, my wonderful friends, and every one of you. Please take note of this. Subscribe. Make sure all notification. Comment. Like. Share. Share this on your social media platform. Tell somebody about this. It's going to transform their life. These are things you don't get from anywhere. These are teaching. They are things that will change your life. So I want you to comment, like, share, and make sure that you subscribe on notifications so that you get our episode firsthand and you'll be part of this very wonderful teachings and this community. All right, I would love to see you in the next episode. The next episode is something that is going to really help us. You are what you repeatedly do. Thank you so much for joining us. When you check the description of this very episode, of this very lesson or episode, you're going to see some of our social media links there. So you can go there, make sure you are part of them. Just join us and you will not regret ever joining us. I would love to see you in the next lesson. You are what you repeatedly do. I love you.